And once again, we welcome you to SaffronSACAP Voiceover Talk. I hope everybody is okay and fine this evening. It is lovely to be back again with our March continuation, March for Abilities in Disability. This is the 4-week program we started last week, and I know you all gained so much knowledge and information from our last week's session. So without much ado, this week we shall be continuing, but before I introduce the session, I want to introduce myself. And my name is Giz Ojiako, and I'm the Director for Programs for SaffronSACAP. It's amazing to be here with you again tonight. And with me, I have my awesome colleagues who I would be nothing without. And firstly, I'm going to ask Marcia to unmute and introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon, evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. It's really great to be here, and it's lovely to know that we're carrying on from our fantastic session we had last week. You guys were awesome, and we really reached a wide audience. My name is Marcia Eliza, and I'm the Director for Youth Engagement and Intervention.
Thank you so much, Marcia. And we also have our big boss. Yemi, can you please unmute and introduce yourself, please?
Am I muted? No, I am on mute. Wow. Good evening, everyone. Good evening here. Good morning somewhere else in the world. Probably good night somewhere else as well. But yes, it is great to be here. And thank you for having us in your living rooms, on your, I don't know what PCs are there today. They're iPads, they're Samsungs, they're laptops. But yes, thank you for hosting or having us in view. We did have an awesome session last week, and I think we've had discussions right through the week, and I am just so excited for today. As I say, there is a lot of work going on all over the world, and I am glad that the 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 issues, the lived experiences and lives of people who live daily with disabilities or different abilities to what we have are being addressed. We cannot continue to move without bringing to light that everyone has a special I don't call it anointing. Should I say anointing, Kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone has something special about them, and that we all bring to the table. So, and collectively, we will make a better world. It has not changed. My name is still Opayemi Ebule-Yontari, and I'm Executive Director for Saffron. Have a good evening, people.
Thank you so much.
Our guest.
Thank you. And we'd also want to say a massive welcome to our Facebook family. You guys show up every week, and you give us life. You contribute, and you're always on hand to make this talk show what it is today. So thank you so much to all our Facebook family. And as normal, we shall be taking all your questions, and passing all your statements onto today's talk show. We want to just recognize some of our participants. Firstly, we have one of our esteemed trustees in the house, and that is in the name of, I call her Auntie, but it's Mrs. to you lot. So it's Auntie Victoria. Good evening, Auntie Vicky. Thank you for coming on as always, and for being there with us and for us. We appreciate you. I want to welcome anybody that.
Thank you. Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself.
That's fine, Auntie Vicky. Thank you, and thank you so much for your love and support as always. We want to say welcome. If this is your first time on the Voiceover Talk Show, we want to welcome you. We want to say thank you. Welcome to SaffronSACAP. Like I always say every week, once you come on for the first time, automatically you become family. So welcome to the family, because yes, we are a family. So yes, thank you. We do have our guests, at least one of them is on at the moment, and I know the other two will be joining us. But before I introduce the guests, I just want to recognize their initiatives. The reason being because these ladies do a lot of work with their counterparts. You know, they always say no man is an island. You know, hashtag together we can, which is one of Saffron's initiatives. So without much ado, I'm going to first of all highlight and introduce, based in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria, Iyaniwura Children's Care Foundation. Yeah, Iyaniwura Children Care Foundation. And we will be speaking to the proprietors, the CEO of this amazing foundation, who will be telling us about the work they are doing and how they are raising the profile of the young people and people with disabilities in Nigeria. An amazing, amazing, amazing foundation. So we will be introducing shortly. And we also have Star Child Development Initiative. And that is also another initiative that is doing amazing things in the way of raising the profile, because that's what it's doing. It's raising the profile of children with disabilities in the UK and also outside of the UK. So we want to recognize Star Child Development Initiative, and that is our Auntie Grace Alexander, who is actually a member of the Saffron family as well. And also today we'll be looking at TAP, the Abilities Project Skills Hub. TAP is based in North London, and the proprietor of TAP is Nkiru Oyido, who should be coming on shortly. We want to recognize her amazing contributions to the raising the plight for children, and especially young children, but people with disabilities. Okay, so we want to say thank you to the three of you for your awesome initiatives, for what you do. It's never an easy job. And we want to hear from you, and we would like to also hear from our guests. So if there is anybody on the Zoom tonight, whether you're on Facebook or you're live here, please feel free, when we are ready to take any questions, or when anybody has anything they would wish to ask any of our guests, to please unmute yourselves. We just do ask, that we are respectful in our engagement when we're speaking to each other. We also ask that we keep to strict confidentiality. So even if you are sharing, please withhold on names, but share your stories. We are not in this. We are not in the story of muting. We're not in the practice of muting people. We want to hear your stories. Okay. So without much ado, I will hand over to Yemi, for obvious reasons, to do the introductions.
We need to get you tuition lessons, shouldn't we?
We are going to sort that out. Yemi's going to introduce, because
okay.
the obvious
I'm going to
reasons.
do that. Oh, okay. Before I actually do that, mind you, I will be hosting everyone on Facebook. So if you have your questions, please drop them, because I will be forwarding them on to Giz, and we will be addressing each and every comment and question on Facebook. Do you know what? You've said a whole lot about the work that Iyaniwura does, and it is my singular and our plural honor to introduce Mrs. Olajumoke Otitoloju. Thank you so much, and I am hoping that I actually pronounced it well. Now I'm a Shekiri girl to start with. You're welcome. Unmute yourself, ma'am, and you have the floor.
Good evening, everyone. I'll copy Saffron, that's Yemi. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are all over the world. Yes, Iyaniwura Children's Care Foundation, we've been on for 9 years now, advocating for rights of people with disability, especially intellectual disability. And like I said last week, we have so much in stock for our children with disability. On this meeting tonight, I have two of my parents that are part of our support group to tell us what they have gone through, where they started from, where they are, and where they hope to be with the support of Lagos State government. Like I said, the state is trying because with the discrimination and stigmatization that has been on for a long time, it's not really easy just to get over that immediately. It's a gradual process, and I know we will get there. And that's why we are forgiving parenting of children with intellectual disability for the last 21 years, let me put it. Now we are in the 21st century. A lot of awareness have been created for parents to follow up. A lot of therapy has been introduced for parents to follow up. And even the states, which we are, and that's Lagos State, is also trying. They haven't reached, but they are trying their best to give children and people with disability opportunity to reach their potentials and their goals. So I have with me in the house Mrs. Idiat Sani. She's a parent, and I also have Mrs. Oluwatoyin Adejobi. She is also a parent to tell their stories and where they are, so that others that are watching on Facebook, is also an awareness for them to know more about disability, family, the community. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Can I just reiterate that, as Dee said earlier on, when you do tell your story, obviously we have your name if you want to give your name, but try not to give other people's names. So, but be able to tell the story without disclosing so much about other people. But yes, where do you want us to start, ma'am?
This is Lade Jobi.
Okay.
She has a son with a cerebral palsy, and I'm telling you where we are now with the son. You won't believe it. She has really tried, and with the support of service providers and our own tenacity as a mother, giving that child support to reach his goal. The boy hasn't reached, but he's still on the step, and I'm so proud of Mrs. Lade Jobi and how she went about a parenting style. So can we have you, Mrs. Lade Jobi, if you're on? Hello? Okay. Can you unmute her, please? Mrs. Lade Jobi?
I have asked her to unmute.
Mrs. Lade Jobi? Wow.
Mm,
Okay, can we have the second person?
okay.
Mrs.
Oh, she's ready. She's here now. Mr. Adejobi.
Mrs. Adejobi, are you around?
I think it's connection. She's probably there, but there are connection issues. If we go to the second person, are you there? Can you hear us, ma'am? Hello?
Connection problem.
Okay.
Okay, can we have Mrs. Adejobi, are you on?
Yes, ma, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I cannot hear you before, ma, but I'm hearing you now.
Okay, right. I want you to tell us your story, your parenting style. So the other parents that are watching, and those, the other parents that have children with disability, and those that do not have, can learn from you and understand where we are coming from, where we are now in disability community in Lagos State, and where we hope to be in future. So you have the floor now.
Thank you very much, ma. My name is Mrs. Adejobi Oluwatoyin. I'm a mother to Adejobi Adebolu, a cerebral palsy boy of 18 years old. And I'm also a mother to Adejobi Taiwo, an autistic. Hmm. The journey is not easy at all. To be a mother of 2 children living with a disability is not easy at all. But I thank God today because let me start from Bolu. The journey has not been easy at all. But I thank God today that the boy is doing very well because we started the journey. They call something early intervention. When they see this boy, people told me that this boy is having one disability or the other, and I took to it. I took him to the hospital. We start early therapy. It's that therapy that helped the boy today because the boy is in SS3 now. Though some of his mates, they have finished their school start like 2-3 years ago. But I thank God for him today because he's doing very well. And I know that he will get there in the mighty name of Jesus. I really thank God for knowing Mrs. Olajumoke Otitoloju. She has been a good mother. She has been a good supporter, a good comforter. In fact, the Lord God Mighty will reward you in the mighty name of Jesus for the work you are doing. Though, if I see someone today carrying a child with disability, one way or the other, I used to tell them that, Madam, don't cry. The Lord God is your strength. In fact, today I'm happy because I know that God knows that I can take care of them. That's why He give them to me. Who am I to question God? Who am I to question Him? For carrying 2 child with disability is not easy at all. But I thank God today. So people will ask me, "You are not looking as if there is something is going on." I told them that, why do you say so? Do you want me to be crying or I should be? I don't have to be crying. I have to summon courage to make sure that they get to where God asks for them to be. But my own feel is that if we see some people like Yaniwura Foundations, NGO, even government that can support us parents with these children with disability, it will be easier for us too. Very, very. Because if I take Taiwo to hospital, it's full day. Even if we get to Oshodi 8 o'clock, before we leave Oshodi at times, 2:30, 3 o'clock, I will not be able to do anything for the whole of that day. Even the drug is very, very, very expensive. The drug we used to buy like 10,000 before every month, I'm using like 21,000 naira to buy it now for the whole of a month. 1 month, 21,000. And I have to buy it every month. It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. But I know with the help of people, they are doing great. They're doing fine. So my advice to people with special students, with special children is that have courage, be courageous, take care of them. The Lord God will provide for us. With parents with children with disability, God knows we can take care of them, we can handle them. That is why He gave them to us. We don't have to be crying, or we don't have to be saying, we don't have to be asking God that, why me? Why me? Why me? Who else? We just have to take care of these children. We have to take care of these children so that they will get to where the Lord God Mighty want them to be. My advice to parents, because those parents that are not with disability children, at times if some of them see them, they'll be doing as if they are perfect, or see the boy, see this. I don't talk with my children, even in my house, they know me. You cannot call them names. I will not allow you. Because if I allow you, if I'm not there, they will do what I did not like to them. They know me. They always play with my children because I will tell them, if you cannot play with them, just leave them. Don't abuse them and don't bully them. They know me, even if I'm not around. All the people in my yard, they used to take care of Taiwo. They used to take care of Taiwo. Taiwo, where's your mommy? She's not around. They used to take care of, because I did not allow them to match with him for me. We have to take care of them, show them love. The most important thing is that we should show them love. We should show them love. These children need love. Because I could see, if we have any Yaniwura program, if you see these children, how they will be Yaniwura, even my children, if you tell them this night that, we are having a program with Yaniwura, you will see they will be very, very happy. We have to show these children love. These children, they need love. They need our love. We have to show them love. We have to tell them that we love them. At times, I used to take them to Tantalizer at the back of my house. I will follow them. If I have 1,000 naira, I will buy meat pie, buy drink. We will all sit down together, eat, and we come back home. I used to take them to everywhere where I'm going. They know me in my church. They will tell you, Yabisi. Yabisi don't joke with his children. No. We have to show them love, because if you show them love, people too will show them love. People will show them love. You have to show your children love. And I'm appealing to those parents that are not with any child with disability, that they should show these children's love. Because some will tell you that, don't allow my child to play with that boy. Don't allow my child to play with that girl. They are discriminating. They are not God. And this thing is not contact. I don't know. I don't know their mentality, because I used to tell them in my house that this thing, you cannot contact it. Play with them. Show them love. I used to tell small children, if they enter my room, that you want to drink tea. Oh yeah, Taiwo, give that person. You cannot contact this thing. You cannot. And they used to believe me. So my advice to parents, maybe we should have, there should be a lecture to this thing, that this thing they cannot contact it. They are born with it. They cannot contact, they cannot give any other children, so that their parents will not be telling them that, don't play with this child, don't play with this child, don't play with this child. So it has not been easy, but thank God today, because if you see me, I always laugh, because I cannot cry again. I've been crying before. If I see anybody crying today, I used to call them that, madam, if you cry from now till 5 days, 10, it cannot change. What you have to do is to take care of them, take them to the hospital, give them therapy. If they ask you that if they tell you they should do therapy, make sure you are taking them to their therapy. If they ask you to give them drugs, make sure you are buying their drug. And make sure you listen to doctor's advice. Because if I have not listened to doctor's advice by today, maybe Bolu will have been using crutches or wheelchair. Because I can remember Dr. Koka, as Bobby then told me, that I should not allow this boy to use crutches or wheelchair, that he should be standing, falling, that when the times come, he will not be falling again. And I took to that advice. And I thank God today he's not using crutches and he's not on wheelchair. Though the walking is not that too balanced, but I still give glory to God, because I can remember Bolu walked at age 8 years plus, and he talked at exactly that time. No, he cannot talk, he cannot walk, but I give all glory to Almighty God. Today, he can talk very well, you can hear him very well, and he's doing very well in his academy. I really thank God today. My advice to parents, we should show these children love, take care of them. Don't dump them at home or lock them at home. Let people know them with you. Bring them out. Let people see you. I did not know Elijah Sonny before. Elijah Sonny saw me on the street with Bolu, and he said, are you the mother? And I said, I'm the mother. He now said, there's one association AIDDN. Assuming I'm lifting them inside, I will not know Elijah Sonny today. I know Elijah Sonny on the street, seeing me with those children. I said, I'm the mother. I'm the mother of Bolu, and I'm the mother of Taiwo. And gradually, like that. So my advice to parents, we should not abandon these children. We should show them love, and we should not be locking them inside, because some parents, they used to lock these children inside. they will tell you that they cannot, they want to go to office or they want to go to their shop. Even if you have a shop, you can take your section one to your shop. You give them share. You tell him or her to sit down there, and you will be selling your market. Because some parents nowadays, they used to lock them inside, and it's very, very dangerous. Because there are some electrical gadgets, they did not know anything. They will just go there and touch it. They will touch it. You don't know what they are doing at your back if you are not around. Maybe there are some people that used to enter, go and meet the girl, do all sorts of things, molested him, and they will lock the girl back. You will not know. Anywhere you are going, you have to go along with them. Go along with them, show them love, let people see them. Don't be ashamed. Because I don't used to be ashamed though. I used to tell people that am I not the mother? God knows that I can take care of them. That's why I keep them to me. We should stop locking them at home, because I know some parents that used to lock these children at home. And I personally, I used to tell them that it's not good. It's very bad. You don't know what will happen at your back. Stop locking them at home. Please, parents. Please, parents, I'm advising you, stop locking these children at home. Take them to your shop. Anywhere you are going, take them there. Let them, if the person is on wheelchair, carry the chair there. Let him or her sit down, and you will be selling your market. If you need anything, he will call you, my mommy, I need this. So then you give. So, in fact, I don't even know what to say, because today I can testify that if you take care of these children, God too will reward you, and you will see and you will see these children doing good. You will see them doing good, and you will be very, very happy.
Congratulations, Ma. I think we really
Thank
all
you,
need
ma.
to clap for you and appreciate you. Thank you
Thank you
so
very much,
much.
ma.
Thank you. You have
Thank you very
honestly,
much, ma.
as you said, that God will has been there. He will continue to uphold you
Amen.
and to
Amen,
provide
ma.
you the means that you need to look after your
Amen.
children. Thank you.
Amen, ma.
You
Amen.
said some really positive things, and I know that I'm hoping that people who listen will understand that we need to celebrate our children. These children, we don't
Yes.
need to like locking them. And you
Yeah.
saying that when they're alone in there, they can play with electric gadgets and things, and
Yes.
it is very dangerous.
Yes,
So
ma.
and I know, I think you must have said like 20 times that we should show them love. So, and you're very correct, Ma. You're really very, very correct. Thank you for your courage. Thank
Thank you
you
very
for
much,
your
ma.
strength. And please continue to encourage people that you meet, because I know that there is a lot of stigma and quite a lot of negativity that goes along with people living with disabilities. But there are a lot of positive things as well. So let's continue to hold on to the positive things and continue to build on the positive things. God bless you, Ma. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, ma. Thank you, ma.
Look
Awesome.
forward
Thank
to
you so
seeing you.
definitely look forward to seeing you when we
Miss
come over in July. We definitely must come
Abs.
down and see you. Thank you so much for allowing us into your world. I feel privileged, and I'm sure I can speak for everybody. So and continue doing what you're doing. You're the mother. You said it, and I just love your positivity. So keep rising, keep shining, and God bless you. Um,
Amen, ma.
I don't know if we want to hear from the second. Do you want to introduce the second
Yes.
person?
Mrs.
Okay.
Otitology will.
Thank you very
The
much, ma.
second parent that I invited is Mrs. Idiat Sunny. Is she around? Please, can you unmute and tell us your story, how you started, where you are today, and where you want to go in the future. So please, can you tell us your
Hello.
story?
Hello. Good evening, everybody
Good
Good
in the
evening,
evening.
madam.
house. I'm Mrs. Idiat Sonny. Is a long story. My own child is twins. I have them the same day, a boy and a girl. Taiwo is the one that's having disability, a Down syndrome.
Mm,
I didn't know what is called Down syndrome. I have to tell you. tell you, but it is Olajumoke Otitoloju. It's only God that can reward her. My story began like this. When I have Taiwo and Kehinde, I saw both of them living, but I checked Taiwo that the neck is not standing well. I have to take her to the hospital, Island Maternity and Mercy Children Hospital. I've never heard of what is Down syndrome. Even our doctor in Nigeria didn't know what is Down syndrome because they did not mention such. So gradually, I kept Taiwo at home, taking care of her. Our twins brother is in Unilag now. Taiwo is about 23, but I still thank to God. If not for Yaniwura and God, it's only God can reward her. I've said it once. I'm ignorant. I didn't know what is called special needs child in Nigeria. We started like that. She took her work at age of 5, taking her up and down. She did not go to school because when she started working, I then took her out. People will be looking at me. Since I didn't know what they are looking at me for, I know it's this child because the neck is not even all that holding well. We started. I took her to a nursery school. She was rejected there. Admitted the second twin brother in that school. That's this one, and this is not their school. They belong to Modupeko. They call them such names. Abirun, Omo Tiokpe, this and that. I say my own daughter is not like that. My own daughter is a child of God. When I hold Taiwo in the house, remaining me and her, I'll be telling God, God, don't let this child die. God, don't let me lose my daughter. I didn't ask for twins, but you gave me. I want the both of them to be alive. I didn't want people to be asking me, where is Taiwo? Say, that one has gone to the market. I didn't pray for twins, so I'll be telling myself that. Gradually. See, when I was training Taiwo by myself, I didn't know. Like what my co-parents have said, that early intervention. No early intervention for these children. I met Yaniwura. It's not quite long, but in my own heart, it looks that I've met Yaniwura, Olajumoke Otitoloju, for 20 years. What she has taken in Taiwo's life. I'm happy now. I'm stress-free because she's an encouraged woman. She encourages us. I will say, Mama, Taiwo is not speaking. He say, who said you? She will speak. She will talk. Look at my mouth. Say, Yaniwura. Say this. Meeting her is a glory. She is the person that let us know that government can take care of these children. We parents don't know anything. But today, we are happy. She has passion for these children. If not for Yaniwura and God, these children will have remained abandoned or because we parents are ignorant. I didn't see it in the Down syndrome. She now put that I cannot live with Yaniwura. It's called meeting me with Yaniwura is a privilege, and I like it. She's a God-sent woman. Children. I didn't know of these children. I prefer that Yaniwura should adopt all our children because she will tell you what you don't know. Because Taiwo, before I always pamper her, I take her out. Don't let Taiwo do this. Don't let her do that. But now, Taiwo can wash plates inside the sink. She can sweep properly. She can pack. She can serve her dad. When I met Yaniwura, because she encouraged me, that don't tell me there is ability disability. I will make sure that the regular children can do. Don't call them disabled. It's from her that I know that special children. They are
Oh,
special. But I can my daughter that I'm even happy that God gave me a special child. Because some parents call me during COVID-19. If not for my special child, maybe hunger could have finished us and all the other parents. They can testify to it. Even my co-parent can testify to that. It is these special children that gave us food, the whole family, through Mrs. Olajumoke Otitoloju. Alaja, what do you want? Help me call your parents. Are they okay with my children? I don't want my children to suffer. We are in lockdown. We are in this. We are in that. She will call me and give them such, and they will be okay. There is a program that she invited me to. She said, Alaja, Taiwo is going to have a responsibility. I said, responsibility? What can she do? She said, shut up. She can do what you expected. I said, no, ma. No problem, ma. Okay. Then we got to that party. She said, Taiwo, you are going to serve. You will be taking this food inside the nylon. You will pack it, take this, and give it to these children. When Taiwo started it, I said, shy. It's only God that will help me. It's only God that can reward you. It's not me. I'm happy seeing Taiwo now. Seeing her with what she's doing. I said, this woman have told me there is ability in disability. She cannot speak very well. I know that. In vocational, she can use her hand to do so many things. And Mama, till last week, she was telling me that Alaja Taiwo is going to speak. Look at my mouth. We have a program. Taiwo, take. This is hand sanitizer. You are going to be giving the guests coming in one after the other. And she did it. I was so happy, deeply happy inside my heart. As my co-parents have said, they need love.
Okay. Oh, the sound. It's connection, but I know. I think you know, we've got a lot of what Alahaja Idiat Sani is trying to get across. So thank you so much for letting us into your world as well.
They need attention. It's a woman of God. So today.
Okay, I think what is happening is it's delaying, so it is not a problem. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. And my advice to parents, as my co-parents have said, that we should give them love. Love them. Don't keep them at home. I always go out with my daughter and put the same clothes so they can know I'm the owner of this special needs child. Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to hand over to you now, Iyaniwura, just to close that for us on behalf of your two special guests.
Wow, thank you so much, Mrs. Sani and Mrs. Adejobi. You have spoken, but I expected more from you. I said I want other parents to learn from your zeal, your parenting style. I'm going to share brief because each of my parents, I know their story. And that's why I actually asked these two of my parents to come. I'll talk of Adebolu Adejobi. Adebolu Adejobi is in SS3. The mother started with him when he was about a year old. That means he started therapy early. And this is what I advise all parents with children with disability. Early intervention. Early intervention means everything that would need to support that child. And that early intervention therapy must be consistent. You must follow thoroughly, and you must follow it the way you have been told. I used to tell them, parents, you are first of all the doctor, you are the nurse, you are the physiotherapist, you are the caregiver, you are the nutritionist, you are the occupational therapist, you are everything to that child. Yes, the doctor out there, they'll just do the minimum they can do for that particular hour, but you continue the rest at home. We have lots of parents that have told me that, when I ask, because sometimes with the 21st century we are, there's a lot of awareness and lot of therapies that you can use to help to support your children. And when I see a child that I know this child must have passed this age in the developmental milestone, and when I ask, it's been 3 years I went for therapy, it's been 4 years I went for therapy. And of course, when I ask, most parents, some of these parents are lazy, but I try to encourage them. Don't look down on these children. They will be who you want them to be, like every other child, but you must work hard. Even parents that have children that do not have disability, they're working very hard to bring out the best in their children. Not to talk more of you that have a special child that will need consistent therapy, that what you did today, you will do tomorrow. You can even do it for the next 6 years before you get a little result. But most times they get discouraged because when they're not seeing after going for therapy for 1 or 2 years, I'm not seeing anything, and they relax. And this our children is 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. So you now imagine when you are not even moving on at all. They are not helping the children. And I keep encouraging them that, honestly speaking, that disability you are seeing, I am not seeing it in those children. And the reason why I'm not seeing the disability in those children is that when you start giving them necessary therapy, they will live to the goals you want. They will be who you want them to be, but you have to help them. And that's the case of Adejobi or not, Adebolo or not Jobi. Because each of my parents, I asked them before we are able for you to be part of our support group, you must tell us your story, see where we can come in, and we'll ask others to learn from you. She started very well. Sometimes she said she'll start crying, backing a child for 8 years because Bolu wasn't working. But yet she didn't stop her therapy, and she didn't stop in one place. She kept asking questions. What is happening? What can I do? Even the drooling, when Bolu was, sometimes she said they'll use like towels, to start cleaning the mouth. But at a time, it stopped because she continued with her therapy and all medication. Even the seizure stopped because she continued with therapy. So with parents, I always advise them to continue their early intervention and continue with the therapy. Even as Bolu is now, Bolu is 18 years, he's in SS3, he's still going through therapy because Bolu cannot write with pen. And I've told his therapist that they should get a pen and see the way they can mold it for him. There's a way they can mold the pen for him to hold. Though he will start very big, let him start writing like a child in kindergarten. And with time, he will get used to it. I did sometime in October, once in a while, I like to hang out with them, hanging out with Yaniwura. And we played all kinds of sensory games. And there's this particular game that I asked them to do. We put these flexible, disposable cups on the table, and they are to blow it. That blowing works with the jaw to help the jaw muscles. But you couldn't do it. Most children with CP couldn't blow it because it's a bit difficult for them. The jaw muscle is still weak. And that's the kind of exercise I told the mother, please, let him continue to do that mouth exercise. Is good for him. And another one that he could do that a child with Down syndrome couldn't do, we put balloons, we blew balloons and put on the chair, a very strong balloon, ask them to walk down and sit on it and make sure it bursts. GSC people do it very well, but the one with Down syndrome couldn't do it, was just, you know. So they need to do all kinds of activities, even within the house. And that's why I said you be the therapist, you do all sorts with your children in the house. And maybe when I allow other people to talk, I like to talk on child sexual abuse, because my children, they are very, very vulnerable. And most parents will tell me, because I don't want anybody to touch them, and my child, I have to lock my child inside. I have to lock my child in the house. So I want us to talk a bit and let people outside, even if you don't have a child with a special need child, you can be advocate now. You can be the mouthpiece for them, because a lot of people working for me, including my consultants, I mean, my event, so many people around me are now aware of these children, that when they get to any environment, they see these children, they already know how to attend to them. They already know how to address, how to talk to them. And I think that should also go on to others out there to also learn. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was very, very, very awesome. Yeah, you know, you said it all. Disability in disabilities. I mean, that is actually what our March 4 weeks is really about, and we are trying to raise that profile. Disability doesn't mean inability to have a life. It doesn't mean, you know, you cannot be like the next person, you know. And I love what you said, how parents are pushing their children who have abilities, you know, therefore parents who know that they have a special child, and I call them special children because they are very special children, you know. I don't know that I'm going to go as far as saying they're lazy. Sometimes it's lack of awareness, which is why we do what we do, which is why you do what you do, to heighten the awareness, to empower these parents, because they do need to be empowered. It's not an easy journey, as we have heard from our two lovely guests. You know, God is blessing them. I'm hoping that what has come out today will strengthen any parents or parents who are listening today. And please, if you are out there on Facebook or wherever, and you really want to, you know, to lend your voice to this discussion, please do. So thank you so much, Iyaniwura. Thank you. You're amazing. That's all I can say, you know. And thank you so much for what you do. And definitely, first stop for me in Lagos is your house. So Amala, I hope it's waiting, because I'm coming.
You like food too much.
Thank you. So before I'm going to ask for, before we call on the proprietor for Star Child Development Initiative, I'm going to call on Nkiru. Nkiru is the proprietor for TAP, the Abilities Project. Nkiru is going to speak off camera for a while. Please unmute yourself, Nkiru, if you can hear.
I have.
Introduce yourself. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, Nkiru.
Good evening. Right. I came in really late, so I do apologize. I'll be here next week. I run a skills hub for adults with learning disability. My hub is actually designed specifically to cater for adults with learning disability, including complex behavior, autism, and epilepsy. It's been open for a year now. Obviously, Corona not allowing us to perform to 100%. But what I do is I started this hub as a personal thing to me, because my senior sister has learning disability. She's 50 this year. Actually, she's 51. Forgive me. She's 51 this year, and she's high spectrum for autism, and she's got epilepsy and learning difficulties. She has 2 carers a day, kind of like, what do I say, 12 hours a day. And my mom is her main carer. But what I know is, like someone said, I was listening, they are special people, very special. Years back when we were in the UK, when we were in Nigeria, she was considered a nuisance. This was like years ago when the awareness for disabilities was not there. She was considered a nuisance, you know. My dad was chopping and changing carers for her, but because nobody actually understood what it was or how to deal with her, unlike here, like Giz, you know, everyone's specialized. There are those who deal with autism, there are those who deal with pure special needs or severe disability. In Nigeria, it was hard to find that kind of help. But when we came back here, obviously, things were different. They're very special, but like a lady said, I think a boy that's up to 18 years, some of them can actually outlive us, so to speak. And it's hard work. It's not easy. So I opened TAP to ease the stress on my mom, because my mom is here as well. My mom's her main carer, to ease the stress on my mom, but also to provide that facility where every child with a disability has an ability. They're underlying, you don't see it. A lot of these children, what they need is consistency. They need consistency because they thrive on consistency. Chopping and changing carers all the time or changing their environment all the time, that actually causes a bit of destabilization, which I got to know. But it's a case of, I got a service up and running where I can provide them where they can do their own arts and crafts in their own time, their own way. I do yoga, dance, we do action games. I even have disco nights for them. So they need activities, various activities to keep them going. There's musical therapies, occupational therapy comes in, you know, just to check your environment, see how they are, how they're getting on, if any necessary apparatus or whatever they call it, it can be set up for them. You know, we do action games, computing, they like cooking. Some of them are very good cooks. Some like gardening, you know. So if you find that one activity, if they're, like I've realized when my sister is unsettled, there's two things that will settle her: doing her hair, painting her nails. So those are two activities that if she can be shouting from here to, the minute you say, come and do your hair, everything just stops. So they need that consistency. They need that stability. They need familiarity around them. You know, if they have one particular person who cares for them, I know sometimes things can be hard and you have to change, but it's good to have that familiarity and consistency around them because it eases up the tension. It's like fear. They're not aware of themselves. And then they have that fear of, oh my God, who's coming today? Or they see someone strange, I wonder who it is. The lady that was speaking, the last lady, I think, Iyaniwura, thank you so much. I loved everything you said. Even I come to Nigeria, I mean, I'm coming for my own food as well. But, you know, going back to the topic, you were talking about sexual, I think Giz, she said something about sexual. There's fear for them because, like I said, they're not aware. It's like even this coronavirus, my sister hardly went out. I picked her from home and brought her to the hub myself. She wasn't going in public transport because they're not aware of any dangers. As far as they're concerned, life goes on. But years ago, I believe about 20, maybe 28, 29 years ago, my sister was molested without our knowledge and we're living in the same house, you know? So, and it was done by a family, I would call it family member, you understand? And it was traumatizing, very traumatizing because she's got a disability. She's 100% not okay. And that's basically what a grown-up saw and still molested her, you know? And our children, these children are vulnerable. They need protection, you know? They need watching, they need protection. Especially the young ladies, even young boys as well. They need protection because there are pedophiles and sick people out there who would see these people and take advantage of because they can't speak. They can't defend themselves, they can't speak. So that was a bad time for me because I felt life is so terrible if someone can resort to that kind of inhumane behavior. So yes, that was something we dealt with. Well, we had to deal with it because it was a case of molested. We found out she was pregnant. Can you imagine having a DNC on someone who hasn't got 100% capacity? That was, you know, disgusting. But we thank God, you know, all sorted out, and the family member dealt with cordially. But they are special people, and because of that, I stand in the gap for my sister all the time. If I feel there's injustice or being done, meted out, because obviously when we're here, we've got the local authority who are involved in her care. If I feel there's any nonsense going on, I would, my mom is, everything is, you know, don't worry, God will deal with it. God will deal with it, I agree. But then I go in heads on because my sister cannot defend herself. Yeah. Mom is not young. So they need us. They need us 100%. If we don't fight for them, who will?
That's right.
You know,
that's right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nkiru. Thank you.
No problem. I will be here next week.
That you'll be here next week. Yes. And yes, your initiative is the Abilities Project.
Yes.
A skills hub.
Yes. Catering to all abilities.
All abilities. Beautiful. Yes. Thank you so much. For allowing us into like I do call it your world, because that's what it is. And yeah, we've heard from you and everybody out there. You've heard what has come to play. It's the same word over and over again. Love them, love them, love them. They will thrive on love. You know, I'm going to quickly just share this with you. You know, I have 2 dogs. You know, one is big, one is small, and the way the dogs react to a command of love, right? They honestly, I thought about this today because I knew I was coming on the program, and everything that has been said today, you know, these special children are no different from the 2 dogs I have in my home. My dogs are special to me. I'm sorry. It's you know, it's the point I'm trying to make here is the response from an animal and the response from human beings is not that difficult. What is the common denominator? It's love. So you show love, and these special children and special adults who have the disabilities will respond. But guess what? They won't just respond, they will grow. So if they couldn't write, they will learn to write. If they couldn't speak, they will learn to speak. So please, guys, listen to all the information that you're hearing today, and let's see if we can all, because we are all, you know, SaffronSACAP is all about safeguarding, and we said safeguarding is everybody's problem. Well, it's not a problem, but it's everybody's
business.
I call it a responsibility rather than a problem. And I'll tell you what is happening tonight. If you can hear the common denominator again, is the fact that everybody that spoke today has a positive outcome that they have been working towards. And those positive outcomes are ringing, you know, so it's not the be end all with disabilities. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. At this juncture, we want to call on Auntie Grace. I don't know if, yes, she's in. Auntie Grace, are you able to unmute? Yes. Good evening. Auntie Grace is the proprietor of Star Child Development Initiative. Good evening, Auntie Grace. Welcome back this week. You are on mute. If you would like to unmute yourself, please. We can't hear you, Auntie Grace. So
yes,
go ahead.
Sorry, I was a bit late. I did not know time has gone really
fine.
Far. I was busy because I have an event tomorrow. So okay, it's an international event, and
no problem.
Taking my time. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
nice to
I
have you
appreciate
back.
those women that was brought by Mrs. Otitoloju concerning what they've been able to do in Nigerian setting. And it's not easy, especially in developing countries when it comes to raising children with disability. And one of the things that is actually lacking with regards to that can actually hinder your parenting responsibility is lack of information, lack of support. And we know that in a developing country, and which Nigeria is one of them, what are the structures that are put in place to support parents of children, because their overall well-being it's very paramount to their caring responsibilities. As a mother myself of a 26-year-old son, who is my last child, I know what I'm talking about. It's the tiredness, the physical tiredness, the sleepless nights, and even when your child has just been newly diagnosed, the shock, the denial, the finding whose fault, all those things will be going through your mind. And it takes a while for you to get past that stage where you actually accept. And that is one of the things that actually affects the acceptance is the fact that the stigma, the myths, the taboo, the cultural environment, constraints, and even the churches. How do they see people with disability or children with disabilities? So, and part of the factor that most parents are really confused. And apart from that, they're tired. So and it has caused a lot of problems in so many homes. Then finances are affected as well. And I know that in Nigeria, looking after children with disability can be very expensive. Like my son uses 4 medication here. And I know what the government here is really doing to ease the tension. So the carers for my son are being paid for, you understand. And what support do people have in developing countries, especially the sub-Sahara, of which Nigeria is one of them? What support are they having? What is the structure in place that they're having? How are they supporting some parents? And that's why there is still a lot of stigma around disability that is still in Nigeria, because I work in Nigeria as well. We have Parents Forum in Nigeria. We have Women with Disabilities Forum in Nigeria. My organization, we have them. And one of the things is that with COVID has actually exposed a lot of gaps, like I said last week. And part of the fact that how many of the children are able to access education, inclusive education? How many of them are able to access the assistive devices for them to be able to function? You understand? And one of the things parents can do is to love their children. And one of the things, and you have to love yourself too. Part of it is that how do they have any respite where that those children can go to in form of education, in form of skill acquisition, that the woman can have a me time. And you know what? You can't leave a child with disability in the care of anybody. Because one of the things is that some people may not even know how to do with it. Some people can abuse the child, especially if it's a female child, girl, who maybe the girl is growing like 13, 14. You can't, and the child cannot. So obviously, how do they get that respite? And I have a case of a woman that's joined our forum like 3 years ago. Actually, the woman had 3 children, and these children are under 12 years old. And this woman, the last child was about 5 years old. And what happened was that the woman I haven't gone through the loss of separation, or that's on his own. The relationship, family dynamics affected. This woman has to lock, because this woman has to look after the other 2 children who are going to school. Will lock the one that has disability in the morning, give him food, put nappy, and then until in the evening. And obviously, when a parent brought her to us, the woman was crying. And other parents said, okay, it's good to cry. It's a release. And but now the woman is flourishing because we're able to get a place where the child can go while she goes to work. So she takes the child there by 8 o'clock or 7:30, then she's coming to pick the child back by 5 o'clock, because it's kind of a respite care. And most of these services are not really available. Even when you want to, we normally do physiotherapy for our children, and when they all bring them once a month. But how many of them has got access to a lot of physiotherapy? Even here, a physiotherapy will only work we come to my son's school, show them how to do it. And what they will do is that they will come after 6 weeks to do a review, because it's quite expensive. So how many of these children have been done educational therapists? I know my son has seen an educational therapist twice. What are they meeting the needs of these children? And obviously it's not easy. And I give kudos to those parents who just spoke that time, you understand, which is just a very small fraction of parents raising children with disability in Nigeria. And if you ask other parents, I know other parents that have been calling me and they want support, but you can only do so much. We have a lot that we cater for, but how many people can we even cater for? So my concern is that this government should put a structure in place. If a structure is not put in place, we are not saying government should do everything, you understand, a structure in place that can enable the parents in their caring responsibility. And I know even with the COVID, I'm a parent. My son cannot go to school. We've just got COVID vaccination last Sunday. Now he can go back to school. He's been with me because he's susceptible to COVID pandemic. He's been with me for over 1 year, and I know the frustration. This is a developed country. How much more in Nigeria, you understand, or other countries like Nigeria, where that support is not readily available, you understand. And one of the things is that more still needs to be done. A lot still needs to be done. There's a lot of rethink. I don't want to give an impression that all is easy, but what I will encourage the parent is to find a peer support group, any parent having a child with disability, and acceptance is key, and forgiveness too is key. We tend to undermine forgiveness. Probably it has caused a lot of, having a child can cause a lot of chaos in the family. So you need to forgive whoever that has not been supporting you, whether your husband, whether your boyfriend or whatever, you need to forgive them. Because if you don't forgive, then you cannot accept, you understand. Accept there are issues here. You know, I'm not going to be religious about it. The child needs support. There is a kind of problem with the development, and it's not one cap fits all. What keeps somebody, a child with disability, is that not the same thing that fits another child living with disability. And find a parent that can support you. There has been parents that are out there. It's not easy initially. It's not easy at all initially. But the earlier you get, and not focusing on the weakness, but try to see what your child can do. Every child has capacity. Every child has capacity. You'll be amazed how your child knows more than you. And you'll be amazed that as a parent, you would learn so much from that child that lives with disability. And one of the most important things, I think, which those parents have mentioned, are love. Love your child unconditionally. Don't compare them. Before you have the child, you have aspiration as a parent, and you are confused about that aspiration. That can she go to school? Can she do? But there are some things that the child can do. Just watch out. And one thing is that it can be traumatic. It's a lot of trauma. Looking after a child with disability can be very traumatic and stressful. So what are the stressors? Look for what affects you, that increases your chances of stress you are having as a mother. Think about what stress are you, what triggers it, and try to take time off, if only for 30 minutes at a time. You understand? There is a time, and then have a structured, put the child on a routine. You cannot be waking a child at 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock because he has special needs. Put the child on a structure so that you too can regulate your life, and you can now regulate your mind too. Because if you don't regulate your mind, you cannot regulate your life. So it's important that you regulate your life, and you have a routine, so that you can have your own me time, and then find something to do as a woman. Find something to do. Really find something to do. Do what you think can about career. Do a career change. It's not easy, but then at the end of the day, your caring responsibility to your child is key. And for you to be able to care for your child, your sanity too is key. If not, you just see that either you unknowingly, you are being aggressive, like shouting, like, without knowing, you are not intending, you don't intend to shout to your child, but probably you are struggling. So find a support system, find somebody you can talk to, find an organization where there is a peer support group where you can share ideas, you can share information about what your child, you will find someone in this world who has gone through what you have gone through, and you leverage on that support. Leverage on that support. It's key to leverage on that support. Those are your support system. It's not about, they pray, but it's not about say, oh, maybe you see a child is autistic or a child has cerebral palsy. Oh, it's the work of the devil. I reject it in Jesus' name. You can say I reject it for 10 years. You are still facing much problem. That's the reality of things. God, our own way is not God's way. God has his own time. So, and one person has asked me where I've spoken that, does he have a cure? Unfortunately, some are curable, some are not curable, but you just have to live with it. But your mind is about what goes in your mind. What do you think about your child? Do you see a child that is an image of God? God promotes diversity. That's why he created us fearfully and wonderfully. That's why we are all different. We are not unique. That's why we have DNA. Our DNA are not the same thing. Even when you are the same mother, you can see that your DNA are not 100% the same thing. So part of it is that you pray that, Father, let me find somebody who is going to support me in this journey, because it's a journey. It's a journey that is a lot of things will happen over time. But how you cope with one level of your parenting skills or your parenting responsibility will determine how you are going to cope with the other one, because some they diminish, some they are high, but it's about actually learning. It's about thinking, what's your perspective in this? Let your perspective be a perspective of positivity. Change is dynamic. What are you gaining? When you have a positive perspective, you can build a world of possibilities there. What can you learn so that you can earn a living? What is your passion? Maybe you've been wanting to do this passion and you can't do it. What can you do to earn income? Because one thing is that poverty, mental health, and disability, the three of them are intertwined. So, and when you have a child with disability, you as a parent effectively are disabled, and the carer, the mother, the one that bears the caring responsibility are women. And one of the things is that, what can you do? Of course, you have aspiration for yourself. Oh, you want to be a director. You want to be this. You can always be a director. But what you are aiming at, don't be frustrated with that change, although you think about it. But the way forward is to think about, okay, where am I? Do a SWOT analysis. What are my strengths? You have to accept your challenges as a parent. If you don't accept your challenges, you cannot move on. You cannot move on. So what are your strengths? What are your children's strengths? And then secondly, what are the opportunities that are around at that time? Even with this COVID, a lot has opened. It promotes creativity. Apart from the loss of people that have died, may their souls rest in peace. But what I'm saying is that it opens our eyes to a lot of realities. One, part of it promoting creativity, promoting innovation, you understand, and different ways of doing things. We have different ways of doing things. So what are your children's, what do you think you can do? Your strength, your opportunities, then weaknesses. Accept everybody, nobody is perfect. We're all weak. We are not perfect. We are all weak in any area. So how do you embrace your weakness? How do you embrace your weakness? How do you embrace what your child cannot do? But obviously, if you look very well, there are things your child can do. Then thirdly, what are your threats? What are you afraid of? Speak to someone. Don't keep quiet. Don't hide your child. Don't look at the stigma. Your child is your child. And one of the things is that whatever value you place on that child that you think is disabled, that is the value that people will attach. People will not come to you as being too sympathetic. I don't want sympathy. I don't want sympathy. I've grown past that a long time. It's about empowering me to be the best. It's about empowering your children. And the children without disability, how are you being a role model? Because the way you view that child is the way they will view your other the child with disability. So we have to make sure that we shift. There is a kind of paradigm shift in our mind about a child with disability, and realize that disability can be acquired. You don't need to be born with it. It can be acquired. It's an evolving concept. It can be acquired anytime. So even as we grow older, we will be losing our daily functionings. But it's when we don't have, like I defined disability as the lack of interaction between the impairment and the contextual factors. You understand? So you're able to do things more. We've seen people that are blind doing extraordinary. We've seen people that are deaf who are decorators. We've seen people that are dyslexic who are lawyers. They are supporting them. We've seen people that have dysplasia that are doing fantastic. It doesn't mean you are a dump. It doesn't mean the way you will process information. Some people are slow in processing information. Some people can process very fast. One fact is that our brain is wired differently. So we are all different. We are all unique. And one thing is that you are not the only one. So don't let anybody, if you go around with negative attitude, with your problems on your face, people will take advantage of that. And they can come and take advantage of you and thinking that, oh, this man is, and they are not ready to help. But it's part of being braced off to the challenge. The challenges do not stop. They evolve as time goes on. So one of the things is that how you deal with one will obviously affect how you are going to deal with the next one. Don't be afraid you are not alone. Find someone to talk to. That will help in regulating your mind. See what works for you, because what works for A might not work for B. You understand? So because A is doing something does not mean it's going to work for you. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So it's about the fact that you have to make sure that you find support and you are accepting it in your mind and you are ready to forgive. That is very, very key. You are ready to forgive in your mind, whoever, because you don't need to carry baggage. You don't need to carry grudge. You don't need to carry whatever in your mind. Anybody that has no support, and you have to forgive yourself. Don't feel guilty. Maybe I did not use iron tablet. I did not use. That's why my son or my child has binafifida. Forget about it. Just focus on your life and that child. That's my advice. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Auntie Grace. That was really, really awesome. It's been amazing. You guys have just given us so much to think about. And, yes, I will always call these children, these people, very special people. And I'm happy we're able to have this conversation. I'm happy we're able to raise this at this stage. I'm going to pass over to Marcia and see if you have anything you can drop in for us around today's discussions. Yeah, I'm going to ask you to unmute if you can. Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you. What an enlightening evening we've had, and I'm sort of emotional because growing up, disabled children were hidden. Not many people, brought them out. They were left indoors, or if they were brought out, they were ridiculed, they were laughed at. And there's this young man who I grew up with. He has Down syndrome. And that young man was the first man and the first family I have known to celebrate and embrace a disabled child. He is well known and well loved by everyone in the village. And the love they shown to that child that sort of, I think before I started my nursing career, that's one of the things that empowered me to care. And so part of my nursing training, I had to spend 2 weeks working in the school with children with special educational needs. And it was so enlightening. And it makes me emotional to listen to parents who are caring for children who are severely disabled. And you can still say, God is good. You
Mm.
can still say, thank you, Lord. You can still say, I love my children. There are lots of children in the UK who are still hidden. There are lots of children in the UK who don't come outside because the family are ashamed of them. There are lots of families in the UK, lots of women in the UK who blame themselves as well. And as Auntie Grace was saying, don't blame yourself. Don't say it's because I didn't do this and because I didn't do that. You know, accept that you are blessed to have a child. And that's what some people just sometimes they don't see that side of it. And it really empowered me to listen to the first speaker who she said, I love my child. I'm proud of how he is. I'm proud of his achievements. And not very often we are proud of our children who are special. And I call them very special and very unique. I'm very friendly with another young lady who is Down syndrome and is the most positive young woman I've ever come across. Nothing scares her, nothing stops her. She loves life, she loves herself, and she got herself a job in the city
Mm.
a couple of years ago, and she just loves it. And when you see her, the smile on her face, it brings you back to reality. It makes you realize disability is not inability.
Mm. Mm.
So, very, very, very good session tonight. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all the work you're doing out in Nigeria. And I hope Chef Saffron can be a part of this journey that you're on because it's a special journey. So thank you again.
Thank you, Marcia. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let me just finish something. You go ahead.
Okay. Go on. Okay. Wow. You know, I was actually itching to respond. So I'm glad you gave me the floor. Honestly, Marcia, your words just set me, you say calm down, calm down. Yeah, you really hit some nerves, and I'm actually glad in the way that you also said that there are, even in the UK, considering how we're supposed to be so enlightened and we're supposed to be so out there and having it all together, that we do not have it all together. There are families that fall between the gaps, and we still continue to reach out to those families daily. So, yes. Like I say, worldwide, globally, there is a lot more now than there was so many years ago, even 10 years ago. We keep daily coming up in leaps and bounds. So I suppose, like everyone has said this evening, the word is that we continue to see people as having ability even within our so-called disability, because I believe that each person has a disability one way or another. It's just some are more visual than others. So yes, thank you. Thank you to all our professionals, parents that have been on here today. There's a lot to take forth today. I know we had a couple of things we wanted to do, but you know what? I think we have had so much, and we just need to go back and reflect on everything that we've had today. Auntie Grace, you know what? I think and that Auntie Grace, where is she? She's still here. Sometimes then I think she is like a railroad of information. It's just one carriage after the other. That's the way I just see her. And she's just an inspiration to me and so much. One thing she's also very good at doing is partnerships. You know, whenever she has a program, she goes, Yemi, okay, we have to safeguarding, we have safeguarding. She's always stressing on the safeguarding agenda. So I know that she really sees that as a very important part of the work that she does. Um, I want to take the time to welcome Muidin. Muidin is our, I don't know, our social media person in Nigeria. That's the Safeguarding Social Development Foundation in Nigeria. And he's actually also working on a project at the moment. He's out one day in the week speaking with people on the roads, on the streets, identifying children and hearing the voice of the child daily on the streets of Lagos. So I know that he will be with us on Saturday when we are on the voiceover for Nigeria. So welcome, Wading. We see you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Also want
Thank you very
to
much, ma'am.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'll give you 30 seconds.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for welcoming back to the great union, and I promise to do my role diligently. So the last time I went out, you were able to put me through that. This is how I need to capture the audio of those that are on street, the children on street, the children that are supposed to be in school, and their parents are able to cater for them, but they have to go out to do one or two things to assist their parents. So before Saturday, by God's grace, I was able to capture one or two, three. So I put it together and make sure I send it to you before the program. So
Awesome.
it's a great privilege to be among you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Muhyiddin. It is our own privilege to have you supporting the work that we're doing. Also, want to welcome Sister Adebola Ahmed, our our seasoned, dynamic s- wo- s- social worker. But I want to act her element because when she speaks, she just comes out with you've
No
got to laugh.
ordinary worker.
No
This is
ordinary
not her.
social worker. Social worker with
Super
swag.
special social worker. She's our SSS.
Okay, you've got your time.
I don't know what you want me to say. You said it all. I'm blushing here. You just can't see it. The color of the skin doesn't show the blush in it.
I need to come up with
Well,
something.
welcome, sis. Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
We appreciate you as always.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Sorry I was late. Thank you.
That's okay.
You're
That's
always
okay.
welcome. Okay, so I know Mrs. Otitoloju wanted to say a few points. She wanted to stress a few points. So please, ma'am, you've got a few minutes. Okay.
Okay. What I want to say is lots of parents are overprotective of their children because of the stigma and also because of discrimination. But I want to lay emphasis today. Yes, it's good to protect our children, but not to be overprotective, that there are some values which we need to teach them that the children are lacking. This disability world is so vast and there's so much for parents to be aware of. And I always encourage the parents, however you are parenting those without disability, parents, the ones that you feel they have disability, the same way, because they will go through the same things in life. When you have a child without disability, you teach her, let me use her, the various culture, the various norms about religion, about so many things that will help that child in future or to reach our goals. Forgetting that you need to teach that same child with disability the same way, so she too can reach her potentials and her goals. Why I'm saying this, most parents with children with disability just think of medicals, but the life goes beyond medicals. The life goes so deep into other developments, such as their sexuality. Most parents shy away from that aspect. I want to believe probably is lack of awareness, and some that already have that awareness don't want to talk about it, thinking that they don't need to know. But I must tell you, they need to know. This intuition came up before Valentine, when I was called to do presentation for young adults and teenagers. And I looked through over about 100 young adults and teenagers, and none of disability children were there. In my own way, I would have asked the convener to postpone the program, because I believe in inclusion. The children without disability and those with disability will, one way or the other, meet, interact, and socialize in one way or the other. And the only way we can do this is when you bring them together, that is inclusion. And on the various topics that I talked about, and I just sat down, my children with disability have the same rights to know their sexuality, just like children without disability. And I was opportune on the 5th of March, in commemoration of our International Women's Day. I told the parents to bring the young adults and the parents to come. Let's not deny their rights. Let's not deny them their right. They all have that right to emotional feelings, sexual feelings, dating, social interactions with other people. And I made them to understand that, first, do not think that children with intellectual disability, because that's my main focus, they are not asexual. They have sexual feelings. They have emotional feelings. And I told them that we need to start teaching them about their sexuality at a very young age, so that your fear of them being sexually, physically, or emotional abuse will reduce, because they already have the knowledge and they're growing with it. You continue to tell them various forms, which I talk to them about their body image. I demonstrated to them, for a child with intellectual disability, a child of 30 years old, looking at her, she has the body of a 15 years old. Do not look at that body of a 15 years old or that disability in her. Look at the best in her. Look at that ability in her. Look at her as a human being that God has created, that can think, though it might be very slow, but there are some abilities she has, which I brought out about 3 or 4 of the young adults that I know. Look at so person. She's very courageous. She's very bold. She's very assertive. She's very, some of even our mates concluded, oh, she likes dancing. Those are the quality you should see in her. Don't look at her and see that disability in her. We need to shift our orientation and our mindset from physical being. Let's look at them spiritually. Let's look at them emotionally. Let's see that ability in them that will make you now forget that, oh, this child, she can do this. And that's what I do with most of my parents. When they tell me, Taiwo cannot do this, I said, no, don't tell me Taiwo cannot do it. You give it to her and you see that best in her. Of course, the day she said that I gave her work to do, yes, she did it because I saw that she can do it. But you people don't encourage them in the house. When they say, okay, this is the house chore in the house, don't give Taiwo any work, or don't give Kende or Tolu or Tope any work to do because of their disability. No, don't judge them with their body image. Judge them with that ability in them. You give it to her and let's see how she brings out the best in it. Let's see that boldness in them. Let's see that courageousness in them. Let's see them in another image, not that body image of somebody sitting on a wheelchair, or somebody that cannot walk properly, or someone that is blind. Which, when I discussed all this with my parents, they were seeing what they now start seeing what I'm seeing in these children and in their body image. I also talked to them about, I know a lot of people won't accept it, but I talked about masturbation, and some of them attested that their children masturbate. And I said, yes, for me, in my own school of thought, I don't condemn masturbation. Masturbation is very good. But what we have to do is just teach them the private environment and the public environment. Because these are the things that make my children, these are the things that make people to move away from them. Stigmatization is everywhere. And they place that stigma on them because when you see a child with disability that is having erection and is wanking him or herself in the supermarkets, of course, anybody will move away from that young adult. But the moment you have taught that young adult that your bedroom is a private place where you can masturbate, and not just the bedroom you can masturbate, you must shut the door. Have that privacy in yourself. The school is not a private place. These are the things you should teach the children. Even the sitting room in the house is not a private place. It's not a private place. And I met some, because I told some of my parents that I have one room, you know, like I said, some of them are low income earners. If you have one bedroom, you can divide the bedroom from the sitting room with a curtain. In African settings in those days, that's how we used to do bedroom and sitting room. You divide it and make that child to know this is the bedroom where you can have your privacy. I said you need to start your occupation therapy because it's part of the training you give your child. When you're bathing your child in the morning at that very young age, try to shut the door and lock it. And while you are doing that, say it to that child, let that child know whether she's listening or she's not listening. With a continuous process, you understand what you mean. That anytime I'm in the bathroom, I need to lock the door. Even if it's in a tenanted apartment in African setting, we'll call it face me, I face you. You still have that privacy. When you are taking your child to have her bath, please lock the door. I know bedrooms they have locks. You lock the door and make that child understand whenever you are in their place, you lock the door. Teach them about their body parts. Don't let them be saying, I want to go and this is my willies. Tell them the appropriate name, even the local name which they will understand. Penis is penis. In Yoruba, we call it oko. You know, let them understand what you are saying. And it's a continuous process. You continue to tell them and they will master it as they're growing up. I made a demonstration. I called the parents. You have a boy of 4 years, about 5. When that boy wants to pee, what do? She said she'll pull the old pant. I said, no, that is wrong. Have you ever seen a man or a boy without disability that wants to pee, removing the old pant up to the knee because he wants to pee? No. If you want to teach the boy, just unzip. That's why we have trousers. You unzip. If it's a slack you are wearing, just remove it, the pennies out, and let the boy pee. I know most times the parents are scared, probably the boy will wet himself, and that way they don't want him to wet himself, so they have to remove the pants up to that length. I corrected that. No, that is not the way you do it. This is the way you can do it. Just bring out the pennies. And most times now, I'm not teaching our parents, let them be doing it, use their hand to be doing things on their own. Even if you want to give them their bath at a certain age, when you know at age 8, this boy can bath himself, put the sponge in his hand and use your own hand with his hand to be rubbing. That way you do it, and after some time you take off your hand, you tell him what to do. Yes, I know there are some that have severe cases. Yes, there are some of our children that have severe cases that cannot give themselves personal care. We will get to that stage where we will learn how to take care of them. And I also talk to them about consent. Most of our parents, you feel because they have disability, you can do anything for them without asking for their consent. You need to, if you want to bath a child, you just need to ask for the consent, whether she says yes or no. You will see it in her action. I'll give an example. Tokbe, it's time to have a bath. Can we go to the bathroom now? You see the child smiling, and the one that is not smiling is just looking at you. He has understood what you have said. And the ones that can talk say, yeah, mommy, you go into the bath. I need to lock the door. Or if he's the type that can lock the door herself, just tell him, lock the door. And these are the things, the next stage we are now. We have all created awareness in physiotherapy. Now let's start creating awareness in occupational therapy, sexuality therapy. I also talk to them about dating. Yes, when I said dating, they started laughing and they were looking at each other. Yes, they can date. How do we date? When you lock your child inside, how will somebody see your child? Let your child attend parties. If you are being invited, take your child along, dress that child properly. Even at parties, when people want to eat, you see them putting napkins so that they don't stain themselves. People without disability. When you go to restaurants, you see people putting on the napkin on the neck so that they don't stain themselves. So you can start this with your child and let that child start feeling comfortable. And my next stage in my program with my children is we want to start having our various nights interactions together. I've said we are going to have disco nights with my young adults. We'll have disco night, we'll have coffee nights. Another night we are going to have juju nights where we will dance and
we're definitely coming to dance.
You know, where they can interact with each other and understand themselves. I asked one of the young adults there, I said, come, do you have a boyfriend? She's about 23. She said, no, God forbid, I can never. She said, God forbid, I can never have boyfriend. I said, why? He said, because my mommy said I should not have boyfriend. I said, don't worry, you will have a boyfriend. We will get to that stage.
Can I hold you, Ma? In that we will get to that stage. Let me hold you on that one because you're already revealing all the topics we're going to talk about next week.
Next week we'll get to that stage.
Yes, that's why I said let me hold you. Let me hold you until we'll get to that stage. So we'll move to that stage next week. Because we're going to be talking about support, we're going to be talking about well-being, health and well-being. We're going to talk about mental health. and relationships, which is what you started talking about. And I'm thinking, we have not asked the question. She's got the answer. She's got all the answers. You know, when you have your, I don't know, when I was growing up, we had those books. They still have them where you have, is it Lacombe? Show how old
Lacombe,
or how young I
I
am.
don't think it's still Lacombe. They're not using Lacombe
And
anymore.
the answers are at the back.
At the back.
I don't know why they bothered doing it. Yes, thank you so much. We will be addressing all of that next week, and I'm really looking forward to it because I know that Auntie Grace also addressed, and I don't know, these issues around relationships last week. And I was on that program for a very short time. So I'm looking forward to her updating us on what they discussed. I just want to call, please hold on 2 seconds. I just want to call on Sister Debola. I know you mentioned something in the chat, and I think it's something we need to hear before Giz shuts the house in.
All right. Okay. It was I think that was very informative from Auntie, and it was what she was talking about that. So I was trying to say that there's a difference, obviously, between the social model of defining disability and the medical model. Now, a lot of people focus on the medical model, which is about the problem being that of the child, rather than look at the social model, which is about the society accommodating the disability and making room for it. So an example of that is obviously here, Kiz, I think, mentioned it last week, or I think it was last week, and she was saying some stations don't have wheelchair access. That's the social model. The social model would accommodate the disability of the young people by making it accessible. And the social model will look at how to accommodate that disability of that child by making the club to suit their needs. Maybe they need to use a wheelchair, maybe they need PowerPoint that is in big letters, maybe they need Braille, maybe they need support to get in, maybe they will need some personal skills while they're there, but then they will still access that service. So that disability does not label them, but they are enabled through the society changing their perspective. And I said, even here in the UK, despite the fact that there's still a lot of people that are the emphasis on the medical model rather than the social model, but we're changing our perspective here. Society has to start accepting that disability does not determine a person. Everybody has their own characteristics, and you find out that a lot of people, I mean, there are cars now in terms of disability that don't need a pedal to drive. You could drive by the gear stick. Everything is on the gear stick. Everything is on the steering to accommodate disability. So the society is moving steadily, but we're still very much stuck with the medical model where the medical is what defines a person. This person is that. No, the person is more than that. The person has got more characteristics than that. And we're moving more into the social model. So that's the difference. But then people are still very much stuck in the medical model side, and they're not using more of the social model. But it's getting some groundbreaking awareness in terms of professionals, in terms of people, in terms of even society's acceptance of disability. Even when you walk now in the street, you find out that the traffic light or the pedestrian crossing has got sound on it. Because if you're a blind person, you would hear the sound and you would know, you pick up from the sound when it tells you to go. If you're a deaf person, if you're obviously someone that is deaf and can't hear the sound, you see the signs. So there's a lot of things that are happening to make society more accepting of disability. So that's what I wanted to share, just the difference between the social and the medical, which is what Auntie was sharing in terms of the fact that people are not actually exploring. And I just wanted to quickly make another point on what she said in terms of when people underestimate the fact that disabled young people, children that have disability, they're very intelligent. and they're growing in their awareness, they're growing in their understanding. So if you're not educating them, and like she said, and they have that sensory need, some of them have more sensory needs than others, and they have that sensory need for that comfort. Somebody could be using that to abuse them, because, you know, sexual satisfaction sometimes is a way of dealing with some needs, and that need could be taken advantage by someone else that sees that in young people, especially some children with some specific disability might have a higher libido than even somebody that didn't have. So if you're not teaching those children their self-awareness, somebody will take advantage of them, and it is happening. A lot of children with disability are abused without people knowing, because they're needing that satisfaction and somebody will provide, but abuse it with them. That's the point I wanted to make.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adebola. I'm so grateful for that, because you know what? I'm just going to leave us go to you know, watch it back and review what you've said, because it's really very important. I like that you picked out the fact of the access to stairways and train station being a social need, and so we pointing out that there are actually two aspects to look into the discuss that we're talking about. See, this is why we like it when you show up. Yourself and Wura, you just blow us out of out of the way. Um, I am going to call Auntie Grace very quickly, and I think Giz will give us 1 minute each. So I'm taking my 1 minute to also say that Mrs. Otitoloju will be next week. She'll be talking about she is the project coordinator for CEDA, which is a sports initiative for differently able. This is a program that the Sports Commission in Lagos State has actually made possible, given the opportunity for people with intellectual disability. So we're really looking forward to that. I know I am. So I just needed to shout it out before we get to leave. And I know that she also has a couple of important personalities next week. So come back here next week and let us get a whole lot more of what's happening in motherland, in homeland. We need to understand that there is a lot happening out there. Ile Labosioko. Am I right? Please correct. Please correct me, Auntie Grace. Let me get you to correct me so that you can go forward. Did I say it right?
Yeah, it's okay. You said it right.
Ah, it's okay. Okay. So I have like 7 out of 10. All right.
You have 8 at least.
Okay. All right then, Auntie Grace. You have your 1 minute,
Yeah.
and then Giz will take us out.
Yes. One thing you don't so one thing you don't hello, I'm on Zoom. I'll call you back in 5 minutes. Yeah. Sorry, I had a call from Nigeria, from my director. Yeah. So what happened is that we also have to consider, apart from the social model, which is very important, and I think they need to adopt that model in Nigeria. People see disability as a form of illness. For me, it's a way of life. We have different ways of life. It's not, your impairment does not mean you can't improve your life chances when you have reasonable adjustments, when you have reasonable assimilations, when your additional needs. It only means people with disability have additional needs. So without the support to those additional needs, then, like my sister rightly said, they are not applying social model of disability. So social model is the one that bridges the gap between the impairment and your environment. So, and then secondly, there's what we call psychosocial model of disability. Don't forget that people with disability, they go through mental health issues. Huge one. It can be traumatic. Yeah. So part of it is to actually
Auntie Grace, you are going to be talking about mental health next week.
Next
okay.
week.
Okay.
I want to be in your class next week.
But then you did not mention my name that I'm talking next week, so I suppose to have that.
For where?
I'm sorry, Auntie Grace. I threw you up there. I put you on that pedestal from the
So
beginning.
if you don't tell me what I'm going to do next week,
We will definitely do that.
Auntie
We
Grace.
will definitely do that.
So at the end of the day, it's about a lot still needs to be done. A lot
Yes.
we still need to
Yes.
do a lot, and
We
we still need a lot of sensitization,
Definitely.
especially with parents, especially connecting with the grassroots.
Not a problem.
Actually being shortchanged.
Awesome. Thank you so
Yes,
much for that
we are
insight.
actually shortchanged, and it's high time we do things, and we make sure that a lot of more people are on board to that paradigm shift.
Sure.
Changing the narratives of what the Sabi. I'm privileged having a son. I've learned so much. As much as he's learning from me, I'm also learning. I'm even more learning from him. It helps you to understand some skills that are one of the skills. If I can give an example, one of it is emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
So emotional intelligence. So how it makes you be aware of, you have a kind of what I call self-awareness of who you are.
Sure.
Who are you when it comes to temperament? Who are you when it comes to understanding people? And then what is your motive?
Brilliant.
For engaging with those people. So a lot of things are packed into. So it's not about the fact that they are, what are we learning from them? That is key. And I appreciate, I want to use this occasion of United Nations International Day Women to say kudos to women like me who are raising exceptionally brilliant children. And I want to say kudos to other women who are actually living with disability. I want to say you are smart, you are courageous, you are bold, you are intelligent, you are the best out of God's creation. Simply the best.
Thank you so much, Auntie
Simply
Blake.
the best. So don't think of you as any other thing. You are a human being personified. And
wow.
Auntie Grace,
you didn't talk about those of us that are service providers. I'm jealous.
I need to see you. We need to see when I come. I'm jealous. So let me mention we are a service provider like me, because we are the same thing. It doesn't matter. You have a duty of care. It doesn't matter whether you have a child with disability or whether you don't, or whether you acquire. You are a woman who is impacting lives of people that I am so passionate about. So you are my sister for life. No doubt about that. You're my sister and you are doing fantastic. And the more we can collaborate, the more we can do things together, the more we can get to the nitty-gritty of those grassroots who are, okay, for instance, during the COVID, people with children with disability, there are, how many of the parents know about digital e-learning? How many? They missed out. They said they are talking to them on television. There is even no light. So talk less of when they can even watch. And some children, they can't learn by pictures or by hearing. Some children, they like objects of reference. So that one on the telly or television they said they are doing cannot minister to other children, especially children that have intellectual disability, who are moved by sensories, who like.
Okay, I'm going to come in there, Auntie Grace, only because we've gone over, but you've been honestly just next week when you come back.
I'm just attending to my sister now. Beg, are you jealous?
I understand.
She's jealous.
I understand.
Is that for me?
I appreciate every woman. Ebola, well done, fantastic. I appreciate Alaja Idia Sonny. I appreciate Adejobi. You've done fantastic. And
thank you.
I want
Auntie Grace has closed the show for us.
Auntie Grace, very much. You have made me redundant. So
Nwosu, hey, how are you, ma? Thank you very much for supporting Saffron Safeguarding whatever. Together we can win. And
we have already won, and we too, we want to appreciate Prof, your son, and we want to say, you know, God bless him, God bless you. Two very special people. You just made a comment there, and you said you were blessing the women who are living in it, and you are one of those women.
And one of the things I like to say with parenting, which I forgot to mention, is key. Don't infertilize your child.
Yeah.
Don't treat them like babies.
Sure.
When they are 10, 11 years old, don't treat them like a baby. You will be shocked the amount of what they know in your environment. You'll be shocked with, I don't know how my son understands Yoruba. I speak it to him and he understands. And then make sure you set boundaries because they are smart. They can play you around. So don't think because of their disability, they are treating them like babies. Treat them like their age.
Yes.
But be aware of their additional needs. Be aware of their differences. Because they have differences, they have limitations because of their impairment. Do not give you the right to treat them like babies.
Sure. Okay, thank you so much for that information. And Auntie Grace has basically used all my closing lines. So at this stage, I'm just going to say thank you to all our special our guests, Iyaniwura, Auntie Grace, and Nkiru. Thank you all so much. And I hope we will see you all again next week when we will be talking about getting it right in COVID-19 pandemic, support, well-being, mental health, community services, and policies. It's quite a mouthful. You've heard some of it already this evening, but we will be pulling back everybody next week, and we shall have some special guests on the program as well, more to be revealed next week. So at this juncture, I want to say have a good evening, stay blessed. Facebook family, thank you for joining us. And everybody, I wish you, if you're going home, safe journey. If you're in your homes, I wish you all a peaceful night. See you all next week. God bless. Good night.
Good night. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you, Muideen. Thank you, Nkiru.